Hello everybody, this is the 33rd lecture of the IELTS, and today we are going to answer the questions of the IELTS booklets 15 academic, and we are going to answer the first passage of test number 1. Okay, it's about nutmeg, a valuable spice. We have the first two questions. By the way, I didn't answer the questions in raw. I just changed the order of them. I answered 1, 2, 3, 4, then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. After that, I went back to 5, 6, and 7. Why? Because those are gaps, and that question is true, false, not given. It says choose one word only from the passage for each answer. Write your answers in boxes 1 to 4 on your answer sheet, the nutmeg tree and fruit. As we said, when we have such a question, all the answers could be, that's a possibility of 95% in one paragraph. Let's see. It says the leaves of the tree are gap in shape. They want the shape of them. 2. The gap surrounds the fruit and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. The gap is used to produce the spice nutmeg. The covering known as the aril is used to produce gap. The tree has yellow flowers and fruit. Okay, let's see. The nutmeg tree, mysterious fragrance, is a large evergreen tree native of Southeast Asia. Until the late 18th century, it only grew in one place in the world, a small group of islands in the Banda Sea, part of the Moluccas or Spice Islands in northeastern Indonesia. The tree is thickly branched with dense foliage of tough, dark green, oval leaves. It says the leaves of the tree are gap in shape because they are looking for the shape of the leaves. So the leaves are oval. In this case, number 1 will be oval. Let's go on. The gap surrounds the fruit and it breaks open when the fruit is ripe, and it produces small yellow bell-shaped flowers and pale yellow pear-shaped fruits. The fruit is encased, that means surrounded, in a fleshy husk. Fleshy means ripe, and we have husk, so the answer will be the husk surrounds the fruit and it breaks open when the fruit is ripe. So number 2 will be husk, when the fruit is ripe. This husk splits into 2 halves along a ridge running the length of the fruit. Inside, a purple brown shiny seed, 2 to 3 centimeters long by about 2 centimeters across, surrounded by a lacy red or crimson covering called an aril. Okay, the gap is used to produce the spice nutmeg, the seed. Why? Because he's saying here inside is a purple brown shiny seed surrounded by a lacy red or crimson covering called an aril. These are the sources of the 2 spices, nutmeg and mace. So number 4 will be mace. The covering known as the aril is used to produce mace. So far we finished 1, 2, 3 and 4. Number 1 would be oval, 2 husk, 3 seed, 4 mace, for the reasons I explained. Now let's go on with the questions. It says choose one word only from the passage for each answer. Write your answers in boxes 8 to 13 on your answer sheet. We have Middle Ages, 16th century, 17th century, and late 18th century. Be careful here. Each row you will find in paragraph, and a separate paragraph. If you remember such a question when we answered in one of our lectures of the beginning, we said each row in such a question, when it comes like tables, you find each row in one paragraph. Middle Ages. Nutmeg was brought to Europe by the cap. Then you have 16th century and 17th century, then the late 18th century. Let's look for Middle Ages. Let's go to paragraph number 2. Nutmeg was a highly prized and costly ingredient in Europe cuisine in the Middle Ages. Okay, behind the Middle Ages, and was used as a flavoring, medicinal, and preservative agent. Throughout this period, the Arabs were the exclusive importers of the spice to Europe. It says nutmeg was brought to Europe by the Arabs. Number 8 will be Arabs. Let's go to the 16th century. European nations took control of the nutmeg trade. Already have it, we don't need anything. Let's go to the 17th century. Demand for nutmeg grew as it was believed to be effective against the disease known as the... Okay, so in the Middle Ages we don't need this paragraph. In this paragraph we just need to check the years. It says 1580, that means in the 16th century. We don't need the following paragraph. We move on quickly. Next paragraph, 1602, that means 17th century. Okay, let's check. In 1602, Dutch merchants founded the Vogue trading corporation, better known as the Dutch East India Company. By 1617, the Vogue was the richest commercial operation in the world. The company had 50,000 employees worldwide, with a private army of 30,000 men and a fleet of 200 ships. At the same time, thousands of people across Europe were dying of the plague, a highly contagious and deadly disease. Doctors were desperate for a way to stop the spread of this disease, and they decided nutmeg held the cure. So, demand for nutmeg grew as it was believed to be effective against the disease known as the plague. Plague. Okay, so number 9 will be plague. The Dutch took control of the Banda Islands, restricted nutmeg production to a few areas, put cap on nutmeg to avoid it being cultivated outside the islands. Okay, let's see. Everybody wanted nutmeg, and they were willing to spare on expense to have it. Nutmeg bought for a few premises in Indonesia could be sold for 68,000 times its original cost on the streets of London. The only problem was the short supply, and that's where the Dutch found their opportunity. We don't have any answer here. Let's go on with it. The Banda Islands were ruled by local sultans who insisted on maintaining a neutral trading policy toward foreign powers. This allowed them to provide the presence of Portuguese or Spanish troops on their soil, but it also left them unprotected from other invaders. In 1621, the Dutch arrived and took over, once securely in control of the Bandas. The Dutch went to work protecting their new investment. They concentrated all nutmeg production into a few easily guarded areas, uprooting and destroying any trees outside the plantation zones. Anyone caught growing a nutmeg seedling or carrying seeds without the proper authority was severely punished. In addition, all exported nutmeg was covered with lime. So, put cap on nutmeg to avoid it being cultivated outside the islands. It's lime. Number 10 will be lime. Okay. Finally, obtain the island of Gap from the British. Let's see. Number 11. Let's go on with this one. A fertile seed which could be grown elsewhere would leave the islands. There was only one obstacle to Dutch domination. One of the Banda Islands, a silver of land called Run. So, finally obtained the island of Run from the British. Here, only 3 kilometers long by less than 1 kilometer wide was under the control of the British. So my answer is correct. So that means 9 will be Plague, 10 Lime, and 11 Run. Now let's go to the 18th century. That means we finished here because this paragraph talks about the 17th century. To the 18th century, it says 1770. Then in 1770, let's see. Nutmeg plants were secretly taken too. Let's see. A Frenchman named Pierre Poivre successfully smuggled nutmeg plants to safety in Mauritius. So number 12 will be Mauritius. And 1778, half the Banda Islands nutmeg plantation were destroyed by let's see, an island off the coast of Africa. Some of these were later exported to the Caribbean, where they thrived, especially on the island of Grenada. Next, in 1778, here we find the answer. A volcanic eruption in the Banda region caused a tsunami that wiped out half the nutmeg groves. So here we find the answer is called tsunami. So that means number 8 will be Arabs, 9 Plague, 10 Lime, 11 Run, 12 Mauritius, and 13 tsunami. As I told you, when we have a schedule or a table, as you call it, like that, don't lose your time. Middle Ages, look for the paragraph of the Middle Ages. You find the answer, just leave it. Go to the 16th century paragraph, or could be 2 paragraphs, or maybe 3 paragraphs. We don't have any question, leave it. Go to the 17th century, you will find the answers. Once you find the answers, leave it. Go immediately to the 18th century paragraph. Why? Because this one, you have each row in one paragraph. For this one, it's the opposite of the first question. 1, 2, 3, 4, you will find 95 or could be 100% of the answers in one paragraph. Thank you very much. Don't lose your time. Let's go on with 5, 6, and 7. We have true, false, not given. 5. In the Middle Ages, most Europeans knew where nutmeg was grown. As I remember, I read in the Middle Ages in the first or the second paragraph. Let's see. The nutmeg tree, mysterious fragrance, is a large evergreen tree native to Southeast Asia until the late 18th century. It only grew in one place in the world, a small group of islands in the Banda Sea, part of okay, I don't see anything about Middle Ages. Let's go to the next paragraph. Nutmeg was a highly prized and costly ingredient in Europe cuisine in the Middle Ages and was used as a flavoring, medicinal, and preservative agent. Through this period, the Arabs were the exclusive importers of the spice to Europe. They sold nutmeg for high prices to merchants based in Venice, but they never revealed the exact location of the source of this extremely valuable commodity. Number 5 says, in the Middle Ages, most Europeans knew. So it gives wrong information. In this case, number 5 will be false. Why? Because it says they never revealed the exact location of the source of this tree. So number 5 is false. 6. The Vogue was the world's first major trading company. Let's look for the Vogue. As I remember when I read, I found it in paragraph 4. Yes. In 1602, Dutch merchants found the Vogue, a trading corporation better known as the Dutch East India Company. By 1617, the Vogue was the richest commercial operation in the world. Was the world's first major trading company. It says the richest, and this one says the first major trading. So it doesn't say the richest, it doesn't say the first major trading. In this case, it's not given because I cannot decide here. It says the company had 50,000 employees worldwide. Okay, although it says the company has had 50,000 employees worldwide, we don't know. We still don't know because there might be another company. We cannot deduce here. It doesn't say clearly it's the first major trading company. So in this case, it will be not given. Okay. 7. Following the Treaty of Breda, the Dutch had control of all the islands where nutmeg grew. Let's look for the Treaty of Breda. As I remember, we found a Breda in this paragraph here. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th line from the end of this page. The Dutch and the British arrived to a compromise settlement, the Treaty of Breda in 1667. Intent here's the explanation of the treaty. On securing their hold over every nutmeg producing island, the Dutch offered a trade. If the British would give them the island of Ron, they would in turn give Britain a distant and much less valuable island in North America. Let's see. Following the Treaty of Breda, the Dutch had control of all the islands where nutmeg grew, so this is true. So, in this case, we have number 5 is false because it says the Arabs never revealed the location of the tree, of the source of the tree, so it gives wrong information. Number 6, as we explained, yes, it says the richest, but it doesn't say it's the first major trading company. It doesn't say it clearly. It says it had 50,000 employees, but it doesn't say clearly it's the first major trading company in the world. So it's not given. Number 7 is true. Why? Because the Dutch gave the British people or the British government an island in order to control all the islands where nutmeg grew. So it's true. Okay, we have the last paragraph. We don't need it. We don't have to read it because we've already answered all the questions. If you have any questions, please just write them in the comments. If you have any criticism, please write it in the comments too. It was Mr. Haidar Qasir with you. If you like this lecture, please press the button of subscribe. Thank you very much and thanks for watching.